Why is working so exhausting and yet not profitable? This video will explain everything clearly. First, let's talk about a somewhat harsh conclusion. If you don't have any additional value leverage beyond just working, it's almost equivalent to self-destruction. Why do most people today have to rely on jobs to survive? Because the modern industrial and educational systems have stripped ordinary people of the ability to produce independently. On one hand, most people cannot afford the expensive production tools. The industrialization of Europe in the 19th century began with the steam engine, gradually evolving into machinery and technology that led to various machines for production. These machines significantly enhance productivity, but their cost is prohibitive, making them accessible only to the wealthy. When the rich acquired these machines, they didn't operate them themselves. Instead, they hired others to do so. These workers, known as laborers, do not own the production tools they use, so they can only sell their labor to those who possess the tools. On the other hand, the highly specialized division of labor prevents individuals from breaking free from the production system initially. A worker making needles could only produce a maximum of 3 needles a day, starting from raw materials to finished products. However, if the needle-making process is divided into stages, 10 workers each handling a small part can collectively produce up to 300 needles in a day. The labor time remains unchanged, but individual productivity skyrockets tenfold. Thus, improvements in social productivity stem not only from technological breakthroughs, but also from organizational changes in production processes. By breaking down production into different stages handled by various workers, factories emerged. Concurrently, modern education evolved in response to industrialization, aiming to supply standardized labor to industries. Making education serve societal demands, the specialized division of labor means that individual capabilities must rely on the production system to create value. The inability to possess production tools and break free from the production system compels workers to sell their labor to capitalists who own these tools and systems, effectively allowing them to exploit the surplus value of their labor. Capitalists, aiming for maximum profits, will pay the highest wage that ensures workers can survive without seeking better pay elsewhere. Therefore, a worker's wage is determined by local living costs and the supply-demand dynamics of the labor market. When living costs remain stable and the labor market has an excess supply, wages will not rise, which explains why working often leads to survival rather than wealth accumulation. However, if that were the only issue, the long-term effects of working wouldn't reach the point of self-destruction. The greatest danger of working is that it completely strips away a person's sense of meaning. A job devoid of meaning, from which one cannot escape, can lead to utter despair. Dostoevsky, sentenced to 4 years of hard labor, drew upon this experience to write Notes from the House of the Dead. In this autobiographical work, he stated that to completely crush a person, the harshest punishment is to force them to do entirely pointless work. The highly specialized division of labor turns each individual into a cog in a never-stopping machine, much like Sisyphus, who pushes a rock uphill only to watch it roll back down. Workers engage in repetitive, tedious tasks devoid of meaning, eroding their sense of existence and worth, leading to a spiritual crisis. Kant said that humans are ends in themselves, not means to an end. However, in the 8-hour workday or longer, people become mere tools. While profit is the ultimate goal, the essence of working painlessly lies in the alienation of what it means to be human. This is the fundamental reason behind the pain of working. Therefore, if you want to escape from the monotony, pain, and lack of prospects in your job, the only way out is to independently create a surplus value loop. When can a person live as an end in themselves? The answer is through active creation. Humans have an innate drive to create, meaning that when a person can utilize their skills to effectively face and solve problems, and subsequently reap the rewards of their labor, the creative process and its results bring immense satisfaction and joy. Workers often fail to feel the joy of creation because the fruits of their labor belong to their bosses, not themselves. Thus, transitioning from being a worker to becoming a creator is the first step out of the abyss. So, what exactly should you create? The answer is to develop assets that can generate continuous income. For example, if you have a particular skill. You could develop a software or program if you have knowledge and experience. You could write a book or create a course. These products that can continue to generate income without additional labor input become your assets. Once you have assets that can consistently produce income, you gain the ability and confidence to escape exploitation by capital. If you have the confidence to become an independent creator, the next step is to build your value loop. If you currently work in a company, don't limit yourself to a single production stage. Instead, try to view the entire production process from a broader perspective. Understand how your boss makes money, whether their business model can be simplified into a loop that one person can manage, and what skills and experiences you need to learn and accumulate for this approach. Work with the mindset that your goal isn't just survival but creating your value loop for the future. When you can independently create a value loop that serves the business, you can completely free yourself from the pain of being a worker and take control of your destiny. This is the purpose of my new series, Deep Evolution Society.
I aim to explore profound topics and provide hardcore knowledge, engaging everyone in discussions about the relationships between individuals and themselves, individuals and groups, and individuals and society. We need to understand how the world operates and then reassess our choices and actions, becoming individuals who recognize that the world isn't perfect, but still refuse to give up, believing in our ability to create change. Just like leaves stretching out from painful constriction, we too must break free from ignorance. That is what it means to live. If you found this video enlightening, please hit like and subscribe now to keep up with our journey of exploration and self-creation.